Mail time.
Mail time. Mail time. Mail time.
The mail's here.
Here's the mail, it never fails. It makes me want to wag my tail. When it comes, I want to wail.
Oh, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Snail Mail.
Hello.
I almost ran into the Blues Clues mail call song.
You see that? I never.
Is it bad that I know that because I've watched it in my adult life and I don't have kids?
Oh, see, yes.
Okay,
I guess.
good.
I assumed you were watching it because you have a child.
Nope.
I've never seen it.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, I don't know. I know the mini assistant and the assistant have talked about it.
Mhm.
And I know the name and it's a TV show.
Yeah.
Never seen it, though.
Okay. Yeah, we'll have to see if there's any legal issues with putting the Blues Clues dude singing about mail call as our intro for Snail Mail.
There probably is.
I would imagine there is.
Maybe they won't catch it on the podcast. Probably would catch it on the YouTube video, though.
Probably. Anyways, welcome to Snail Mail, everybody. How many voicemails do you think we have right now?
Oh, geez. I'm going to go with 27.
Ooh, no, you're an overachiever.
I have, yes,
20.
20.
Yep. 20 voicemails. I think we
All
ended
right.
last week at 15 or 14, something like that.
Perfect.
So we're back up to 20.
Okay, great. Let's see how many we can get through.
Yep. This first one is from Mr. 6 out of 5 stars.
Lance.
Lance, not the company. Let's see what he's got to say.
Hey, Tyler and Jimmy, it's Lance, not the company. I'm listening to 503 right now, episode 503. And you guys are talking about fork numbers and how to figure out actual fork numbers for the ground, things like that. And it kind of got me thinking because, I mean, as you guys know, I drive a semi-truck, and the specs on my engine, I have a Cummins S15 pushing 525 horsepower and 2,050 foot-pounds of torque. And I have a pretty low graining gear because I'm up in the mountains all the time. In fact, I'm up in the mountains right now. So I'm going to have to do that math and figure that out because, you know, I was listening to the numbers you guys were putting out, and I was like, I wonder what this thing can actually do. You know, I think I sent both of you guys pictures of me up in the snow with, you know, joking about my suspension all fluxed out and all that crap, but I am kind of curious what kind of torque numbers this thing would put out, given the specs of 525 horsepower and 2050 torque. So, interesting. Anyway, keep crawling. Oh, and 6 out of 5 every time.
Thank you, Lance. Yeah, I don't know. That part to me is always fun to kind of figure out. We definitely nerded out about it on Total Off-Road Podcast.
Yeah.
Is that 503 or?
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah. So the thing to remember about those torque numbers is that that's when they're giving you your engine's spec ratings, they're doing it at like the peak ratings on a dyno.
Right. And probably at the crank.
And at the crank too.
Not at the tires.
Exactly. So you get some loss going to your tires, and there's definitely, you're not producing as much horsepower in lower RPMs, but it's just kind of fun number to guesstimate and compare.
Yeah.
Since that's the number we have to work with.
Sure,
from engines.
absolutely. So for those, and maybe Lance, if he wants to try to figure it out, what's the mathematical formula to figure out the torque?
It's multiplicative.
It is.
So
that's
you
a big
take,
word.
I know, I almost had to slow that one down. So you take your engine's rated torque. So for like Lance's diesel, his big old tractor trailer, it's got 2,000 foot-pounds of torque from the engine, right? And you take that, multiply it by your transmission gear.
The lowest.
If you're looking for your final low crawl drive ratio torque numbers, the maximum capacity of the torque that your drivetrain can put out. You take your engine torque settings, torque specs, multiply it by your lowest transmission gear ratio. So like, I don't know. I have no clue what big rigs have, tractor trailers. I do know that like the Toyota, the W56 is what, a 3.78,
something
typically.
like that. Mm-hmm.
The
R151F
The
that I have. The
R151
turbo is like 4.3.
3. Yep, 4.3 in your first gear. The NV4500, which was a very popular transmission behind half ton or 3/4 ton trucks in the 90s and 2000s, I think. That had like a 6.5, 6.7 granny gear. So you take that, whatever that your gear ratio is in your lowest gear, multiply that by your torque spec out of your engine, multiply that by however much your gear ratios are in your transfer case or cases.
Right.
And then,
so in our case, we have multiple cases, right? So we have 2 T cases. So we multiply both of them for us, we have a stock case, which is 2.28. And then our second case is a 4.7. Yep. So now we're multiplying all those down the line.
Yep. And then you multiply it one more time by whatever your differential gear ratio is.
Correct.
So in our case, we have, let's take Jimmy's Bobcat for as an example.
Sure.
Bobcat has a slightly tuned 22RE. So the stock 22RE puts out 120, 140 foot-pounds of torque.
Yeah, sure.
As the engine specs. You take that, multiply it by your R151, which is 4.3.
Okay.
So let's say 140 because you're slightly tuned.
140
times 4.3 times 2.28 for your front case.
Yep.
Times 4.7 for your rear case.
Correct.
Times 5.29 in your differentials.
Yep.
What do you got?
I got 34,000.
So Jimmy's tiny little 22RE 4-cylinder engine produces, what'd you say?
34,000.
34,000 foot-pounds of torque peak if you're not, taking into consideration the loss throughout your drivetrain and blah, blah, blah. So, fun numbers. So if you're kind of like looking at, what does dual cases and low gearing do for you? And this is what Marlin realized, is that it exponentially increases the amount of torque that your drivetrain puts out. Another way to think about it is it decreases how much your drivetrain thinks the vehicle weighs.
Okay.
So
because of the amount of torque that's being used.
Yep.
Yeah.
So it's not working as hard to move the weight of your vehicle, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So let's take Bobcat for an example. Let's just say 3,000 pounds.
Sure.
You have let's just say for ease of math, 250 to 1 crawl ratio.
Okay.
And that's all the gear reduction ratios added together to create your multiplication, right?
Yes. It's somewhere close to that.
I want to say it's like 252 or 251.
244 or something.
Okay.
Anyways,
so take 3,000 pounds divided by 250.
12.
So your drivetrain thinks Bobcat weighs roughly 12 pounds.
Sure.
That's another way to think of how torque impacts your off-roading.
Yeah. Instead of 3,000 pounds divided by my first gear, 4.3, that's almost 700.
Yep.
So if I'm just driving around, no T cases engaged, first gear.
Well, you got first gear and then your differentials. So
okay.
4.3 times 5.29.
Yeah.
22, 23, somewhere around there.
4.3 times 529.
Plus. No, it is times.
Times 529 is 22.7.
Yep.
And then
so 3,000 divided by 22.7.
3,000 divided by 227 is 132 pounds.
Yep. So yeah.
So in Lance, in your case, I'm assuming your semi does not have a T case.
Yeah.
So you're probably just doing engine torque versus your lowest transmission gear times your ring and pinion.
Yep.
And then you'll find the maximum torque output.
Yep. Which would also be interesting because semis can weigh total weight 40,000 pounds.
Sure.
So if you're thinking, a semi 40,000 pounds, but then they have 100 to 1, 150 to 1, like what is the real weight that the engine thinks the drivetrain thinks it's pulling?
Yeah. That'd be
carrying.
Kind of interesting.
Anyways, fun stuff with nerdy stuff with gear ratios.
Thanks for calling, Lance.
Yeah.
Always love hearing your voice.
6 out of 5 stars on Lance phone calls. All right, next one here is from Ryan Marley from Boise, Idaho.
Hey, Ryan. Good to meet you in Cruise Moab.
Oh, cool. Let's see what Ryan's got to say.
He took the other top bunk.
Hey guys, Ryan Marley here. Hey, from Boise, Idaho. Calling in about the discount code deal. Mine is exact opposite. Mine is when your friends that own businesses in the industry constantly offer you a discount code when all you're trying to do is support them. That one bugs me. You're trying to support them, and they're always like, "Oh, I'll give you a discount. I'll give you this, or I'm going to give it to you at cost." I'm the exact opposite. Support your friends in the industry. Don't ask for discounts, and don't accept discounts. Peace out. Have a good time. Be on the trail. See ya.
Yeah, cool. Thanks, Ryan, for calling in. This was in regards to my venting of somebody not even searching for a discount code, a random stranger, not even searching, just asking the owner for a discount and don't even know the person.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think I understand where Ryan's coming from. I think as a business owner, we always are here to help our friends though too.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm giving a discount to a buddy, I don't have any problem with that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
If it's the random stranger that I have no affiliation with that's reaching out to me going, "Hey, I love your product, but I'm not willing to pay full price.
Yeah.
Can you give it to me at a cheaper price?"
Yep.
Yeah. So I think the deal that I always make to a lot of my friends that is pay for cost.
Yeah.
Like if you pay for the cost,
just cover my cost of materials.
I'm not out any money.
Yep.
You got a good deal and we're all happy.
Yep. Yeah. I think coming from, owning a business as well, I think that discount codes are a necessary evil. But I wouldn't even say they're an evil, because I will tell you right now, if businesses count on those discount codes being out there, so they've worked them into their profit margins.
Yeah.
So it's a marketing strategy for businesses to run discount codes. It's everybody does it. Everybody has them. I don't know. I don't necessarily find an issue with people using discount codes. It's put in some work to get them though.
Yeah.
Figure out where they are. Talk to the people that are giving out the discount codes about what they think. That's the whole point of the discount code, is help to create that conversation. And then those discussions about the product happen. Right. And so people get feedback on what other people's feedback is about the product. So that's the point of discount codes.
Right. I agree.
But at the same time, people who do like to pay full price, thank you. We live off of you guys as well. Like, those are the people you really want to take care of. The people who don't ask for discount codes, don't ask for discounts. Those are the people that I like to be like, hey, thank you. Here's an extra something for you.
Yeah.
So
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I should have taken a better marketing class, I think, when I was setting up my business. There's a lot. I mean, I guess the first time ever having a product to sell, that I really learned a lot with this business and how to do stuff. Yeah. Because before, all of my businesses, for the most part, were service-based, right? I would do graphic design work, or I would provide something from my side, not a product.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And so that I did there was a big learning curve on that.
Yeah. So cool. Thanks for writing in. Ryan Marley.
Ryan Marley.
I'm calling you Riley now.
He's one of our Snail Squad members.
Oh, cool.
Yep.
Next one here. Rob here. That's his name. Rob here. Let's see who it is.
What's up, guys? Second Rob here. I just wanted to ask, how do I find somebody, you guys or somebody else, that me and my kids could run the Rubicon with and be able to see all of the historic stuff and see some cool stuff that we haven't noticed before on the trail? I've never even made it through the full trail. Most of the guys want to stop and drink all the time and turn around and head back or whatever. So I think it would be really cool to go with somebody that knows the trail. And on top of that, next question, I just got a puppy, and I'm wondering what you guys do with your puppy inside your rig. If anybody has any kind of info for how they hold the puppy to the feet or whatever, I kind of want to get him used to going out wheeling with me constantly. My sons are getting old enough that they have their own rig, so I really don't have anybody sitting in the passenger seat with me anymore. Also, congratulations, Tyler. Can't wait until Reid gets a little older, comes out wheeling with you. It's an awesome thing. When he gets old enough to want to build his own rig, it gets even better. So you realize that you're the one footing most of the bill. Anyway, guys, that's all I got for right now. Keep crawling and be on the trail soon.
So he called right back.
Let's answer those first two questions and then we'll jump to the next one.
Okay.
First one, how do you see the Rubicon Trail and everything that we've been doing? I know you're not terribly far away. So, I mean, there's people out on the Rubicon all the time. You know, a lot of the times, you know, you could probably get in contact with Tyler and I and see if we're going to be out on the trail too, which Tyler's not.
Just day trips.
Yeah. I'm going to be out there a bunch. So you might be able to find a time that we're all, we're going to be on the trail. Mm-hmm. There's also companies that give tours out on the Rubicon. Yep. Our good friend Dave McKinney at Rubicon Trail Adventures would be a fantastic one. He's actually he's a Snail Squad supporter as well. And a phenomenal guy and a gentleman who loves to talk. So he's a fantastic tour guide.
He is, really.
I'm not sure. I know the Buns currently aren't giving tours anymore. They were for a little bit there. Anybody else?
Barlow Adventures.
Barlow Adventures, that's right.
Trails out there. Nick Simerasudi, I think he's a Georgetown Fire.
Okay.
He works part-time as a guide with Barlow out on the trail. I want to say there was one other company. I can't remember the name off the top of my head though, but mainly in the NorCal area, Rubicon Trail Adventures. If you're looking for more of the historical side of it, I would say go with Dave McKinney.
Okay.
Yeah. The McKinney family is deeply ingrained with the history of the trail as well.
Yes.
So he has a lot of history and knowledge of the area. If that's your main goal of going to the Rubicon is learning about it more and seeing some of the more unknown features, I would go with Dave.
Yeah. And if you go, hey, I know those Snail Trail boys talked about some culvert off of, around here where we're at Sioux Bowl, right? Like if there's something out here, right? And Dave would probably be like, oh, Jimmy and Tyler at it again. There's over here. Yeah. So Dave knows more than we know easily of the Rubicon Trail.
Yeah. He also has a really great explanation for how to use and conserve toilet paper while you're on the trail. So if you go with him, you get to learn that skill too.
There you go. Perfect.
Maybe we'll have him call in and explain that.
Yes, I like it. In regards to the puppy, I have no idea. I don't have dog. I've never had a dog that I would bring out on the trail. I've often see dogs running outside of the rig, along the rigs and near the rigs, which has always scared me, but I've never seen a ran over dog. Yeah. So I think most dogs are smart enough not to not bite tires and not chase after the vehicle.
Especially if you start them young, like cattle dogs, cattle breeds, they love running alongside the vehicle on the trail. And as long as you start them doing that early and they understand that that's their job kind of thing, and they're not to go after other dogs, you train them around other dogs, you snap train them. They're awesome trail dogs to have out on the trail.
Right. So if anybody out there has suggestions for in-cab dog etiquette or training, please call in and let Rob know, because I have no good advice.
Yeah, I have a Corgi that does not balance very well in unbalanced situations, like inside of a rocking vehicle. And he just sits down on the back bench seat and shakes the entire time. So I feel bad for him, but and I also have an fully enclosed cab. Like if I had an open cab vehicle, I would probably tie him in, secure him in somehow.
Yeah.
But I have seen a puppy fall out of an open cab vehicle and get run over in Little Sluice.
Ooh.
So I didn't watch it happen, but they were trying to come down the trail and broke their track bar on their Jeep and had to hand the puppy off to somebody that could make it off trail quicker.
Dang.
Yeah. So, closed cab, you don't have to be as careful because there's a lot less risk of them falling out and really getting injured. But open cab, you definitely, in my opinion, want to find a way to strap them in somehow.
Yeah.
So what those are,
For sure.
I don't know. I've never messed around with it. I would like to hear from people though and what they have to say about it though.
Yeah, absolutely. And Rockwell is a cute puppy.
Is he? Is that his puppy?
Yeah, it was a photo on the Facebook group.
Nice.
Yeah, absolutely. Cute dog.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Let me see. There was something else he mentioned that I wanted to touch on, but I don't remember. Oh, Jimmy and I last year, 2 years ago, whatever it was, we did the listener trip on the Rubicon. That was a really fun trip.
Yes.
And I've had people start asking about it if we're going to do one again. Not this year, but I think we really want to put that as a priority next year. So
yeah, I want to do 2 runs next year.
Mm-hmm.
I want to do a snow run where we're camping out in the snow.
Yeah.
Like see how far we can get.
Just don't invite Dylan.
Middle of nowhere. Yeah. Dylan's not invited on any of them.
Okay.
And then we'll probably do another Rubicon run.
Nice.
If not something else at some point.
I would like both.
But those are my 2 goals. Like maybe in February we do a snow run and then, June, maybe July.
Yeah, something like that.
We do a Rubicon run.
That'd be cool. All right. Let's see. Rob called back.
Okay.
What does he got to say here?
Hey, I forgot. The other podcast, while you weren't on the normal snail trail, I thought that was really good that you kept up with that and keep that footage rolling too. That was great.
Is that it?
Is there footage right now?
I guess.
Oh, sorry. Okay.
You okay?
I'm good now. Yeah, thanks.
Okay.
Yeah, so I guess Rob found the other podcast. See,
I guess
it
so.
exists, people.
Yeah.
It exists. Rob
I'm
found
shocked. We're up to like 2 or 3 that have actually found it and realized it's us.
it. Yeah.
Mhm. That's awesome.
Yep. All right, next one. Ryan Marley called back
Oh, okay.
from Boise.
Boise.
Hey guys, Ryan Marley here from Boise, Idaho again. Hey, I'm eating crow now. After I left that message, I realized that I recently made a purchase from a company local to me, Delta Vehicle Systems. Dave over there bought a set of Icon shocks from him, the 2.5s. They are amazing. I absolutely love them. He definitely steered me in the right direction. But in doing so, in that purchase, really didn't know the price offhand. He goes, well, I'll sell them for whatever Icon has got them listed for on their website, which for me was fair. He looked it up, said, oh, they're on sale right now for 15% off. I'll sell them to you for that amount at this time. I agreed to it. And now that I think about it, I did accept the discount, and I'm kind of eating crow now. So I guess what I'm trying to say is, support your local companies. Support your friends in the industry. Watch them grow. Pay them that full amount. Watch that company, grow and flourish and produce new cool parts for your vehicles. Discount. Wait for a discount. Look for those promo codes all the time, and then wonder after a couple of years why the company went out of business or didn't grow and evolve. But the biggest thing is, support your local companies, support your companies in your industry, and watch them grow and thrive and see what they produce. Stay local.
Thanks, Ryan.
Yeah, thanks, man.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say you're not eating crow because
What does crow taste like?
Yeah, first of all, I don't know. Second of all, I guess, is Dave doesn't make Icon.
Yeah, true.
So
he's retailing.
He's retailing. So he's just reselling it, and he's not. You're purchasing them from Dave, but Dave didn't buy them, at all. So yeah, if anything, you got a discount from Icon.
Yeah,
not your buddy Dave.
Yeah, Dave's kind of like the broker, I guess.
Yeah.
For finding them and gets a finder's fee.
I think you're okay, Ryan. I think you're all right.
I would agree. I think that the other thing to remember is that there's a lot of options out there for off-road parts and accessories and whatever's out there. And so just by shopping alone with your buddies, that I think goes a long way. And if your buddy has their business set up correctly, it shouldn't matter if you're getting 15% off or not. Just to be able to support them. And it also helps your buddies feel good too about themselves, to help be able to, it's a symbiotic relationship, right? You're still spending money there. They're still earning profits, but they're also helping you out too.
Right.
So it's a symbiotic thing. And then, I'm a big fan. He touched on something, that, if you find a company that is making some cool stuff, then buy it from them, because they're going to typically continue making cool stuff if they have the profits to do it. Right.
Yeah. If
and
they get the income.
So I'm a big fan of doing that. If you find a company that makes something cool or is doing something that you are super in agreement with, like supporting trails out there, find the companies that are giving back to trails, and make sure you're buying from them, because putting more money in their hands means they're going to keep doing the stuff that they're already doing.
Right. I agree. Sounds good.
I like it.
And I think you're okay, Ryan. You're going to survive.
Yeah, you'll be fine. You don't need a midlife crisis right now.
No. Help Lee with his build first. Yeah. Then you have the midlife crisis, because he's on the roll build team.
Yeah. One more?
Sure.
All right. This one's from our stripper.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see what Reid's got to say.
Hey guys, it's Reid, your favorite stripper. I am behind. I'm listening to episode 501, and Tyler was mentioning about trying to keep the beautiful metal and weld work.
This is the call I've been waiting for.
His suspension stuff. And I am in the resurfacing and refinishing professional world as an abrasive blaster and powder coater. Long story short, you're going to be kind of chasing your tail in regards to keeping the rust at bay. You could use a high performance clear, anything that's like a 2K clear coat from an aerosol can, or really high performance clear coat like a polyurethane enamel, like industrial grade stuff. But even then, you're not giving the metal enough either an extra surface prep for the coating to grab onto and to be long lasting. You're always going to have rust issues, and that rust is going to basically continue to be the bane of your existence because it's not being properly coated. There's different levels of surface cleanliness, from SPC SP1, which is cleaning it with a solvent, all the way to what we do with abrasive blasting, SSPC SP5, which is a white metal blast. There's a lot of things you can do in between, but the clear coat fantasy is hard to achieve. So, yeah. There you go. I'm sure the timer's going to be up here pretty soon, but yeah. You know how to reach me if you have any more questions, Tyler.
Yeah, I think I even said this to you
this weekend.
Yeah, I've kind of come to that conclusion too, because the biggest thing is, even if I get an industrial clear coat on it, I still hit my axles on rocks. And it's almost impossible to tell from a quick glimpse when that clear coat is rubbed or chipped off.
Sure. Yeah. Where if it was painted, you could see metal, not black paint or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. I was just about to say, well, if you paint it, you're still rubbing it on rocks and you're still going to get rust. But I guess the visual cue of I have a hole there now, it's no longer black.
Yeah, I can recoat it after the trip.
Yeah, I can recoat it after the trip versus it's clear I can't tell if it's there or not.
Exactly. Yeah.
What you need to do is you need to invent force fields.
Okay. Yeah. We can work on the electromagnetic. I wonder, does granite have any metal in it?
Probably.
Think I can make one strong enough to lift the vehicle up and over rocks?
As long as the rock can't hit
the metal.
Yeah. That's all you need.
Yeah. Okay.
And if it can become slippery too, that'd be good.
Okay.
So that you just slip over the rocks.
Well, once the force field's on, you pour KY all over. your axles.
That would
That
work
way.
probably too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. See,
I like it.
engineering 101, Jimmy.
Yeah. KY solved.
No, yeah. Thank you for calling in, Reid. I could have called you and chatted with you about it, but I think that there's other people that are, I don't know if they are interested in clear coating their rock crawlers too. It's nice to have that info out there. So I'm coming to the realization that I need to just paint it, which I'm bummed about, but I think I need to.
So do you need to clear coat? Paint everything, because your frame isn't really going to be hitting rocks.
No, it'll still. That's true.
Just your the bottom half of your axle.
I know, right? Just do half of the axle. That would be funny.
Yeah. And then you can clear coat the rest of it.
Yeah, that's true.
Any of the four-wheel end around brackets or the frame that Ori built and all that stuff you could actually clear coat.
That is true.
And then you could paint the axle.
That is true. The axle I built, so the welds aren't as good on the axle, so we can cover those up anyways.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's not a bad idea. Just paint the axles and then clear coat the rest, because those aren't going to come in contact, and do an industrial clear coat on those.
Yeah.
I like that option.
All right.
Oh, also,
solved. Oh,
speaking of options that I like, a lot of people gave options about my upper link coming loose.
Yes. I actually have an email from that. And we have a piece of feedback that didn't come in via email or on the phone. You said for me to remind you.
Oh, yes. So let's do the links first.
Okay.
There was a lot of good options: right hand threads, tons of Loctite, welding. A lot of those came in. I think that the best way to do it is to just kind of like build a non-movable link. Because the whole point is once the link is in place, you don't want it to move anyways. So there's that option. The right hand thread is a great option as well, but I don't want to have to rebuild a link and order a new joint for all that too. Not until I do aluminum links, which somebody else said, well, if you do right hand, that gives you an excuse to go to 7073 links.
Yeah.
I was like, or 7043. I was like, that's tempting, but I don't need to go there yet. The two that I really like are, came in from, Will Richardson.
Okay.
One of our buddies at Metal Cloak. He said that Nordlock washers.
Okay.
So do you know how the back of a flange nut is like serrated?
Yes.
Nordlock washers are two washers stuck together into one back to back, and the front sides of them opposite of each other sticking outwards are both serrated.
Got it.
So as you lock everything down, it really grabs onto both surfaces and keeps everything from spinning off.
Nice. Okay.
And those are $11 for two of them.
Oh, that's
for two
not bad.
washers. So I'm like, all I really need is one link, $11, and it would probably fix my problem.
Right.
Nordlock washers are used pretty heavily in the aerospace industry. So I'm like, they're depending on Nordlock washers. I think I'll be fine putting them on my rock crawler.
Yeah.
The other one was what was it called? A Ninja trap washer. It's the same idea as it's a star washer that's like on Toyota spindles in the front.
Yep.
And so they just have tabs, and you bend them over the bung side, and then you bend the next ones over the nut side, and it captures.
And you squeeze it between the rod and the nut, right?
The rod and the nut. I don't know what the rod is.
Well, the link. So the link on one end
the
has,
washer is in between the nut and the link, the bung.
Right, and then you bend the tabs over on each side.
Yep. And that helps capture the nut into place. So it doesn't come undone. And to undo it, you just bend those tabs back to straight, and it should release the nut.
Yep.
So I also really like that option. So one of those is the way I'm going to go. One of those two.
Robert Human, Human.
Robert Human?
Is that how I'm good at reading. I thought too much into that one for sure. He said, what I did to secure my rod ends was to use a rivet gun as an impact to the jam nut. I'm not entirely sure how that worked. They have not moved in a year of wheeling. This technique was brought on by necessity. I don't have access to the jam nut with a conventional wrench.
So he used a rivet gun? A rivet gun?
Rivet gun.
I wonder if a pneumatic rivet gun then?
I don't know.
It'd have to be a pneumatic rivet
100%
gun. But
how
like
that works.
rivet guns, they push in the rivet and then they're pulling the stud out, which then sandwiches and flanges the rivet to your flange surface.
Correct.
So I'm not sure how
A rivet gun has an impact to the jam nuts.
Yeah. Maybe I don't understand how rivet guns work.
Yeah, I'm not
which
sure
is
either.
Totally possible.
He messaged back and he also said the way you secure rod ends in aviation is you use safety wire from the tube to the rod end.
Yep. And so that was thought of as well. That would just require me to pull everything apart and get a perfect drill through the joint shaft.
Right.
So that one I thought about as well, but I really like these two ideas of the Nordlocks and the capture washers, Ninja capture wire. I don't remember what they're called.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll be going with one of those two routes.
Cool.
The last one was the piece of feedback we got that was not called in.
Yes.
It was from MFer Ben Dover.
Oh, okay.
He actually used to work for the railroad here in Northern California.
Yes.
And so he has information about the lookout on Signal Peak.
Okay.
And so that Signal Peak lookout was used to look at fires, like you said.
Yeah.
However, not the fires you were thinking.
Not forest fires.
Not forest fires. It was used during the winter time and during summer to look for fires on the tunnels, the snow shed tunnels.
Oh.
So with steam engines going through wooden, highly coated, flammable snow sheds.
Yeah. Right.
They caught on fire from the inside out a lot of times during the winter, and you wouldn't be able to notice it quickly
until it's too late
kind of thing. So a lot of that lookout was to look at the fires inside the snow sheds and catch them as early as possible.
Right.
Too.
Interesting. Because the metal on metal contact between the wheels would throw sparks and stuff.
Sparks, or just the heat from the steam engines, from the steam coming out, would be enough over time that it would ignite to hit a flashpoint maybe.
Yeah. He also said that they were used, it was a long time ago when they were used.
Early 1900s.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like the 19 was 02 to 1910, 08. I don't know, somewhere in there.
Yeah. And they toted most of the stuff up by Lorenzo's. I mean, donkeys.
Yep. Lorenzo's.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Lorenzo's ancestors putting in work.
There you go. Railroad. Finally, some jackass is working.
Yeah, seriously. Never worked for us.
No.
So that's all the feedback I got.
Cool.
That I think,
well, minus the additional 18 more voicemails we have.
Yeah. We're going to be at like 25 next week. Watch. So we'll get next week's snail mail when we get there. And thank you everybody for calling in. We have some coming up here that I'm interested to get to. So hopefully we can get to those next week. And we always look forward to hearing from you guys. So please call in, leave a voicemail, feedback, have questions, whatever it is. It's kind of open mic time for you guys. 916-345-4744. And that about does it. So Jimmy, final words? Is there final words or just...
We don't do final words on this
words?
one.
Why not?
I don't know, because I don't prepare myself. I don't know.
All right. Well, with that, my friends, keep crawling. We'll see you next week.
We out.
The number you have called has been disconnected.